Late January, we can talk about Christmas music for real. We don't have to lie to each other about our feelings about Christmas. Christmas is over. Christmas music fucking hijacks the music scene for 2 months out of the year, really unfairly, don't you think? Every store you go into, you can't ever just tell them, be like, hey, can you turn that off? I'm really sick of Jingle Bells. You can't. You just have to suck it up, and it sucks. And they don't ever play good Christmas music in stores. And like my favorite Christmas song has Snoop Dogg in it. It's Rev Run and a bunch of other people, and they do a version of Santa Baby, and it's fucking dope. And Snoop Dogg comes in hot on the track with this verse, where he just enters the song going, cookies and milk, satin and silk, chilling in the living room, wrapped in a quilt. God damn! Oh! Wrapped in a quilt! Cookies and milk, gangsta Snoop Dogg. God damn! He's like, fuck Santa, these cookies are for me, bitch. Santa's gonna have to come down and fucking wear the wrong color, Santa Claus. This is a blue household, I don't know. Anyway. I like you. Anyway. I think my favorite thing about Snoop Dogg is that like he's changed so many genres over the years. Like he became Snoop Lion and did reggae, and then he got into gospel music, and then you know like I don't like he even multi-generational. Like my fucking dad loves Snoop Dogg, which blows my mind. And and the only reason my dad likes Snoop Dogg is because he like has a football team. That's all it takes for my dad. That's all it takes. My dad was like, oh, football guy? Good guy. Like Snoop Dogg. Like his stuff. I'm like, Dad, you've never even listened to the Dog Pound. I don't even think you'd make it through. It's so filthy. You don't like listening to that. You're a country music guy. But he's like, Snoop Dogg, football guy? My guy. My kind of guy. That's all it takes. But yeah, anyway. So it's interesting how it comes up. Because like I love Snoop Dogg and stuff. But like I used to work with kids up in Albany and would do soccer coaching. And I don't know if anybody's worked with kids before, but kids really like to test you, and they want to see how cool you are, right? And so one day I had these two 10-year-old boys come up to me, and they said, yo, coach, you ever heard of the meme, D's nuts? And in my mind I was like, meme, D's nuts? That's from Dr. Dre's The Crunk, that's old as shit. And so I was like, these boys don't know, they don't know The Chronic. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to test them back. They think they're cool, I'm going to test them back. So I'm going to give them a different skit from the same album. So I said this. I said, all right, boys, let me ask you one question. If I had some nuts hanging off of the wall, would those be walnuts? And they were like, yep. I said, okay. If I had some nuts hanging off of my chest, would those be chestnuts? And they were like, yeah. I said, okay. So if I had some nuts hanging under my chin, would those be chin nuts? And then I remembered that they're 10. And I can't finish that joke. I can't be like, no, boys, I'd have a dick in my mouth. All right, let's get back to soccer drills. Here we go. Spring is around the corner. We got to get you shooting. Yeah. Working with kids was great, though. I worked with all different ages, like really small ones, too. Like, the little kids are cute because, like, everything to them is an emergency. You know what I mean? Like, they get their hand in the air, and it's like there's a fire right inside the room. You know, they're just like, and then you go over to check on them, and you're like, hey, buddy, what's going on? Coach, can fish swim in milk? And you're like, that's what the emergency was? I don't know. Try it? I don't know. That's probably not. I think the calcium, they're going to die. They're going to die in that milk. Don't do that. I had a kid ask me that one day, and all I could think about for the rest of the day was like, Jesus Christ, is he just going home and doing experiments with his fish? Or he like tried apple juice yesterday and they died, and then he was like, maybe milk today. Let's ask Coach. So yeah, I don't know how that was going to go, but I was scared for his family. Going through a lot of fish. I think my favorite thing about working with kids is like how like imaginative they are. You know, like all you need to do to teach them soccer is just make a game out of everything, which is great because it like reminded me of like when I was a kid, like we weren't really allowed to watch TV or anything like that, so we just played a lot of like make-believe games. We played a lot of dress-up, and my siblings and I, our favorite dress-up game was church. We loved playing church. And my mom, super Catholic, we were raised Catholic, so this is like blasphemy, right? This is totally in secret. My parents couldn't know, because it's a sin. You can't just be playing church in your basement, you know? But we played church, and like my mom was very strict, and she would be like, I'm going out for errands. I'll be back in an hour and a half. Be good, or I'm going to tell your father. And then she'd go, and we'd all be like, yes, it's church time. And everybody had a job, you know, like my job was to go find the biggest book in the house for the Bible. And as it wasn't the Bible, it was the encyclopedia, J through M, you know. And you know, my oldest sister was the priest. We were a very progressive Catholic church. It was the 90s. We were ahead of our time. My oldest sister was always playing the priest, and she would be down in the basement in front of our congregation of stuffed animals, just ready for mass to begin, in one of my mom's bathrobes, just like, be seated, children, be seated. And then I come in with the Holy Encyclopedia, J through M. And we wouldn't do any like prayers. We would just skip to all the fun parts, which is basically just communion. And my brother's job would be to go get communion stuff. So he would always go get vitamin C pills and fruit punch for the body and blood of Christ. Vitamin C pills and fruit punch. And when you're a kid, vitamin C like hops you up, right? Gives you a lot of energy. And then fruit punch is just sugar, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen kids like withdrawing from sugar. It's scary. They got like a red crusty mouth. They're scratching themselves uncontrollably. I don't want to play soccer today. And you're like, get that kid some fruit punch. So we would be down in the basement for an hour and a half just doing communion. That's a lot of body and blood in Christ. My mom came home one day and found us, and it wasn't like a regular church like body and blood of Christ. No, it was borderline satanic at that point. My sister's at the front of the stuffed animal congregation just going, body and blood of Christ, body and blood of Christ! And I was just in the corner with a stuffed animal baptizing it like, yes, your soul will be yours forever, yes. We looked up, we saw my mom, we only saw her because she made a noise. It wasn't like a regular noise, it was like it was like she was like a samurai getting killed or something. And I don't know if you guys ever seen like your parents like almost die, like a vein pop in their forehead, but like my mom, she has this vein in her forehead, it was like throbbing, and then it just went splat. And I thought we killed my mom. But also, I was way too hopped up on the punch, and I was like, oh, can I get one more cup before she beats my ass? Let me get that blood of Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really go to church anymore, but I'm trying to like I just turned 30, so I'm trying to figure all that shit out. I don't know how you guys are doing in your spiritual journey, but I'm trying to like figure out what my spirituality is, because I realized that smoking weed and talking shit is not spirituality, it turns out. It's not a real religion. So I figured I would start with like Catholicism. That's how I was raised. So I was like, okay, I'll go get the Bible. And the way I found it was weird. I was at the dollar store, and they had a Bible in the puzzles section of the dollar store. That's where I found the Bible. Between the word search books and the Sudoku books, they put the Bible right in between. So I think the dollar store staff are trying to say that the Bible is a little bit more complicated than circling words in a grid. But a 3x3 number puzzle, oh fucking no. That's way harder than the Bible. The Bible, way harder. So I've been like reading. I've been reading the dollar store Bible. I'm not very far, guys. I'm on like chapter 6. But it's like still in like Genesis. It's not very far. It's like learning about ancestry, our collective ancestry. I don't know if you guys know about this part of the Bible, but it's basically like Thorak begat Eon, and Eon lived for 832 years and begat Solomon, and then Solomon slept with his mother and begat Solomon, and you're like, what? Wait. We're all sleeping with our mothers? Is that how we... So anyway, so I'm reading the Bible, and the whole plan is to like read the Bible before bed and then think about what it's teaching me, which isn't much at this point. But now the main concern is that, because, all right, if you guys aren't Catholic, like Catholics don't just get to go to heaven, we have to earn it, okay? So my concern is that I'm going to do all this work to try to earn my place in heaven by reading the dollar store Bible, and then I'm going to die, and I'm going to get to heaven, and St. Peter or God or whoever is going to be like, really, dude, the dollar store Bible? Like that? Like you couldn't have just gone to church once and gotten one for free? And I'll be like, cover blown, and then down to hell, right? Or they'll be like, can't you just get like the $15 King James edition from Barnes & Noble, like the leather-bound nice copy? And I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't. And then they'd be like, well, I guess because you didn't get that Bible, you have to sleep in your car for the rest of eternity. And I'd be like, what? Everybody else is getting pearly gate palaces. What about me? Oh, well, everybody else isn't a spiritually broke motherfucker like you. So sleep in your Versa. Sleep in your Versa. And that's how it's going to go for me. So looking forward to that. It's not going very well, guys. I thought about reading the Bible in Spanish. Because I was supposed to have done that for the degree I earned in school. I went to college and got a degree in Spanish literature, and I work at a wine store now. So that's you guys know what I can actually do with my Spanish degree? I order in Spanish at restaurants. That's all I'm able to do with it. I'm basically the guy in front of you always going, sí, dale con todo, quiere cebolla, cilantro, salsa más picante que tienen, gracias, mami. And then the person behind the counter is like, come on, man, it's Chipotle, you know. Do all that. But I started learning Spanish at a young age, at 13, and growing up I'm from Illinois, and growing up in Illinois, like there wasn't a lot of people for me to practice Spanish with, so I ended up just listening to Spanish radio stations and then just saying stuff to my dog in Spanish. So I'd be listening to like Mexican radio stations and just doing that voice to my dog, just doing the 105.1, la que buena! Just to my dog on walks, just being like, oye, pero no puedes cagar en este césped, tenemos que regresar a la casa. And you're basically, like I was just doing like monster truck rally commercials, like just like at my dog, just going sábado, 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 en el United Center, ustedes no van a poder creer, tenemos Bone Crusher. And you're like, oh, this is going to be a fucking sick show. So that's what I was doing with my dog, and then I started getting jobs where I was working with Spanish-speaking people, and I found out very quickly that it's just not an accent that works for them. Like you can't be working with Pedro in the kitchen, like on a busy day, and be like, oye, Pedro, fire, cheeseburger! Like, Pedro's gonna fucking brandish his knife at you and be like, no mames, wait, and you're gonna be like, oh shit. So I learned quick, and so I had to like adjust how I was learning my accent, and I don't know if anybody speaks another language here, but like you kind of develop this like weird alter ego when you're learning another language and trying to practice the accent. So that, like, you guys took language classes in school, right? And you know how they like made you pick a name, and they're like, oh, what's your name gonna be in French? And you're like, I'm going to be Jacques, and your name is like Carl or something, right? And so I did that until my professors in college were like, no, your name is Nicolas, and that's it. So basically I've developed this alter ego called Nicolas, and I'd like to end the show just doing a little bit of stand-up for you as Nicolas. So here we go.
Yeah, Nicolas, sí.
Buenas noches, damas y caballeros. Gracias por estar conmigo. Me introduzco como el hijo de puta gringo, pinche americano, hijo de ojos azules del diablo. Y bueno, muchas gracias. Okay, so I'll translate this far. Basically, I've come on stage and I've said, hi, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I'd like to introduce myself as the son of a bitch American, piece of shit, blue eyes like the devil. Back to Nicolás. Bueno, tengo algo que confesar, que no me afecto el culo, pero debo, ¿no? Tengo 30 años, mira, estoy tratando de salir con mujeres y ya, no, está de moda, las mujeres quieren tocar el culo y yo, si salgo con mujer si acaso me mete el dedo, no, necesito estar limpio para ella, no. So again, we'll translate. So I'm saying, I have a confession. I don't shave my asshole, but I think I should. I'm 30. I'm trying to date women, and you know they like it. It's fashionable nowadays. They want to stick a finger in your ass. So I should be ready. You know, I want it to be nice and clean. You know, just in case. Que nunca sabía que iba a querer, pero ¿sabes qué? Quiero que me meten. Ya tengo 30, no, estoy pidiendo. Yo ya quiero que me meten el dedito. Y, no, quiero sacar buenas notas, no. So there, this is the final part. I'm saying, I never knew that I wanted it, but come on, I'm 30. Now I want it. And I should shave my asshole so that I get a good note from the girl and she comes back. So that's been Nicolas. I've been Nick Heupel. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. Keep it going for Nick. Thank you so much, Nick. That was a shit ton.